Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joanna from Universal Unity. I've got to find a better opening for these shows. It always feels so awkward. Anyways, happy to have you with us. This is Saturday. Not sure what day of the month it is, but I just know it's Saturday. And we are talking about consciousness and how it is the portal to everything. So excited about this because I try and keep the shows current with what I'm moving through, because my guides know and my celestial team knows that I always feed this back to the collective. So tapping into what's current, what's now, what's important is always key. And the understanding that consciousness is our access to everything. So whatever it is in life that we choose to experience, whether it be love, success, a greater expanded self, whatever it is that we choose to experience in these wonderfully accelerating times, then our consciousness is the way to that. So it's pretty powerful, and it's really hit home for me this last week because, you know, in my downtime or when I'm not really thinking about ascension work, because it can be quite heady when I'm driving the kids back and forth, my mind is kind of in a downloaded state. And I'm allowing things to flow to and from without much thought or intention. I can get access to information that I didn't necessarily have when I'm in the, kind of more of a structured state, when I'm doing things and getting things done and completed and so on. So this brought up the idea that the consciousness, which I've always known, but tapping into a little bit more surreal, the doorway and the porthole to allow us access to all that is, in that we have the potential and the ability to cross-connect into other lives. The more that we expand, the more that we open up. And we can actually sense these feelings and these energies. And I had, quite profound, emotions this last month going through the prosecution issues and the past life, all of those things that were being brought up to the surface to be healed and dealt with, and sensing the energies in a much more profound way to those that I'm connected with on other realms. And this is what's really, really, really fun. And always maintaining that fine balance between what is allowing our access to the celestial realms, other star systems, and also grounding the information here on Gaia, to ensure that we are expanding here within this reality, because that's what our chosen path is. Although we all have these other realms that we're connected with, we all have these other star systems that we're mandated also that we're working with, and that are very important to us in the greater picture of it all. However, it's this reality right now that we're focused on. And so this is where we need to ground the information. This is where we need to play with the idea that, yes, these energy sensations are coming to this reality. And then how can we create the sense of knowing in that energetic flow and then ground the lesson here to Gaia? And so this is what all of these parallel lives and the bleed-throughs, the energetic bleed-throughs that I've talked about and gone further, a little bit further in my book, and which my next book will go much further into, because I'm going to talk about, my next book will be more specific with the experiences and allowing others to understand that we have full control, we have full potential and capabilities to do whatever we choose with our consciousness. And as we open and align whatever it is we choose to desire to experience, then we're aligning ourselves up with more potential, with higher potential. And I remember hearing recently that Steve Jobs, who passed away not too long ago, a lot of his ideas for what he manifested over his entire career came through to him while he was in a meditative state. And so his purpose and one of his themes was to advance technology in certain ways for the world to, I believe that all things come in perfect timing, and the state of awareness that the world has right now is clearly at the hands of the internet. And we can reach and tap into people that we never thought we could have, 10 or 15 years ago. And so this is quite wonderful. I mean, I got very excited this week when we had our first person from Australia tune in. And it's really wonderful to see that, you know, even though I'm not traveling to Australia, we can still have the ascension information and the consciousness information heard. And those that are having those eye-opening dreams or visions or impressions or even beginning their meditation practices, they can get a sense for what's coming, you know, the more path work that one does. And so we can do this with our consciousness. We can allow ourselves to, and this is what we'll tap into at the symposium, is there's a technique that I do for expansion in consciousness to allow yourself to magnify and expand your sense of consciousness to the universal level. And I've been doing this for about a month now. And it's just now that I've felt the different energies around me that have always obviously been around me, but I'm sensing it a lot more profoundly now. And, you know, to the point where it feels as if that being is right next to me. I mean, obviously their energy is, but visually, because of the difference in densities and the frequencies, I'm unable to see the person or the being, but I can sense the energy is right there. And I'm sensing these different energies. And so this is what magnifying and expanding your sense of consciousness can do. It can allow you that expanded state of awareness so that you can tap into whatever reality you choose. But not for the process or the ability to kind of escapism. The potential for these energies is so that you can learn and ground them to Gaia. Because the more that you expand who you are as a consciousness, as spirit energy, as an aspect of source, you ground it through to Gaia, then we are expanding the bedding of Gaia. We are expanding her as our carrier. And this is what's important for all light workers and star seeds to do, is that we are all portholes ourselves. And anything that we choose to channel, anything that we choose to expand upon or allow into our auric environment is what we're expanding into. And this is why it's so important, especially right now with these accelerating energies, is to really fill yourself and really spill over with as much positive, really dynamic energies, because never before have we had the type of help and the type of support that we do now for ascension and expansion work. So never before has there been the energetic help that we have now. And so it also goes the opposite way, that the more negative talk that you have or the self-dialogue that you have with yourself, it's very important to put an end to it and deal with what's going on within you when that arises. And this is what pathwork is all about, ascension pathwork is about. It's also about dealing with that aspect of it as well, because all the ascension energies are going to assist you and propel you in whatever way that you're managing it and driving it. So if you're driving it in a negative way, then that's where the energies will flow to. So always maintain that positive sense of self, that positive sense of clarity and self-worth. And, we talk about this in alignment sessions, and we really get to the focus of, okay, what are your belief systems and how can we redefine them and how can we remanage them so that when you do have those down moments and when our, old habits and conditioning slip in, we can alter them and refine them and make sure that they're powerful and profound, so that the environment that you're creating for yourself, the environment that the manifesting of that reality is going to be positive and powerful and fifth dimensional. And so this is where the consciousness comes in hand. Because the more you understand, the more you become aware of, the more you're expanding on who you are as a person, as a spirit, and the more you can tap into all of those other realms that you're acting on behalf of, other segments of yourself, those parallel realities and those other star systems working with other beings, even your higher self and your connection with your guides, your fluid of communication is much more smooth in those expanded states of consciousness. And we necessarily don't have to do that in the meditative state anymore, because we have so much support and help in these refined energies and the grid work that's going on right now, and from our Helios, our sun. All of these things are helping us through this process, and they're expanding us even if we don't know it. And this is why every day feels so different for those of us that are working on ascension path work, because every day our cellular makeup is changing. The sense of awareness, even though we might not understand what we're being downloaded, and this is what's going on right now, is that when you're actively working on your ascension path, you've talked and had discussions with your team, your energetic discussions with your team, your inner dialogue with your team, meditation work, journaling, whatever it is that you may choose to contact your team with, or the dialogue that you have with your spirit guides and your celestial team, then there's a set plan in action. There's your agenda, your blueprint, all of those things that are making up of you and what you choose to experience in this life, and the themes and the lessons that you're choosing to work on and move through and expand within and uncover and unveil and reveal, then all of those things start getting set in motion. And in the expanded state of consciousness, we can choose to go into our meditative states or our dream states where those informations are fed to us much more fluidly because we're in that higher state of consciousness for others to work with us. And we're not dealing with the conditionings that we have here on the denser realm. But we can, in our past work, we can allow our consciousness to expand in a sense where we can do that without going into those meditative states. And that's by, those times where you are doing something that's enjoyable for you, where you're enjoying nature, or, you're doing something, a mundane task that doesn't require too much thought or control or structure. And you're allowing that porthole of the consciousness to remain open to the universal portal or gateway, that space above the higher, the crown chakra area, just above that where the higher self feeds information through from the universal to the higher mind, into the physical body, into the physical realm, and you're picking up things and cues and clues and so on. And so this is how the transfer of information occurs. And if we're aware of this, if our expanded consciousness can allow us to take us to those states of knowingness, that's when we start tapping into all of these ascension cues and triggers and symbols, and all of these things start coming to life. And this is when, things get really exciting, because we access things that we never thought we ever had the potential to do. And things are offered to you all the time in recognition of your refined state of consciousness, in your expanded state of awareness. And so these things come to you in a natural state because it's a set of allowance. It's your declaration that you've set for yourself in that energy state that you're going to entangle with that vibration. You are going to align yourself with that vibration, entangle everything that's within that frequency range. And then it opens up to you. And so that's pretty magical. We have utter control of what's going on in those states. And it's the process of, practicing it and then being in a relaxed state to simply allow. And once you've practiced it and you've allowed all of the more denser conditionings to let go, subside, get released, then you're in your natural state of spirit, and your spirit can expand to the state that you choose to, whether it be, the higher fifth dimensional range or the infinite range where you're getting in touch with anything in the cosmos that your higher self feels is necessary for you to connect with. Your higher self will always play as the gateway, as the porthole, same with your spirit guides, and they will always let in what is appropriate for you at that time. So although you are expanding yourself in an infinite manner of speaking, you always have your gatekeepers. And this is why it's so important to also, in your path work, to have those moments of gratitude and blessings for all of those that are working with you on your teams. I call them teams because that's what they are. Nothing that I ever create or manifest is ever done by me solely, because I know well enough the universe is always backing me up, supporting me, feeding me information. And it's only through the higher self and my spirit guides that I'm allowed to seek this information, or they're giving it to me because I'm ready and I'm capable and willing, and I've practiced to the point where I can have a certain amount of information being given to me, because there's reverence and there's support and there's divine acknowledgement and gratitude with that. And so the more that you practice this fine balance, then the more access that you will have to these energies. And it's just like, I've said a long, long time ago in my post, if it was necessary for us to all be billionaires, then we would all be living in a state of, gluttony and overconsumption, which is what most of the world is doing right now anyways. But, the wealth that people have to do such things and to just go overboard. And necessarily that's not our life plan. That's not our lessons and themes we came to work on. And so we will be given what we're supposed to be given in perfect timing based on what we're willing to work on. And because of, my specific personality, and I really get passionate and excited about this work, I work on it with every spare minute that I have because it's just so exciting for me. And so in that balance of the work and the effort and the commitment and the passion and excitement that I put in will equally be balanced by what I'm experiencing on the other side of those energies and efforts. And so this is how you can walk through your life, if you so choose, in the path work that you're doing. If it may be a better career, if it may be, a loving partner, whatever it is that you choose to manifest or experience, you can do this with the equal and balanced effort and commitment that you're working through to expand yourself to the vibration of those frequencies. And so this is how the consciousness works. So the consciousness truly is the portal to the infinite. The consciousness is your portal to anything and everything. And it is your the Wizard of Oz path, and that's the path that you walk. It's the path of your consciousness. It's the path of your remembrance of who you are as spirit, and it is the unfolding of all that you are. And so if you can think of it in this way, then it doesn't have to be so challenging and troublesome to think of and consider all the other practices and techniques and tips and all of these things that we've offered throughout the years. Because it really, truly is coming down to one thing, and it's your awareness of consciousness. It's your awareness of what everything is within the universe, all that was created by Source, God, whatever it is you choose to call it, and everything that's entangled with it, which is everything. Everything is all, and all is everything. And we are all energetic patterns of that one same thing. We're just divided or separated in the frequencies that we choose to vibrate at in our awareness. So if someone has a limited awareness based on their beliefs, if they've been brought up with a very limited style of conditioning, a very limited style of education, a very limited style of behaviors and attributes and aspects of their upbringing, then their awareness would be matched equally so. But someone can, on the same pattern, have an awakening, have an epiphany, have a trigger that can occur at any point in their life, and they can open up the potential for ascension and consciousness awareness to allow them to change frequencies and vibrate at a whole new level, much more profoundly than, say, what happened to me 8 years ago when I started my ascension path. Because the energies now are propelling everyone in such a profound way that even if someone had no experience whatsoever with enlightenment, spirituality, ascension, whatever it may be you want to call it, it's all the same thing. It's all expanded consciousness. They can have no experience whatsoever and still be propelled in the same way of someone that had been doing the work for years. And this is how powerful these energies are. So when we take that concept of energetic propulsion, then we can really do anything we choose. And this is what we're getting to. We're getting to this crossing of the line, this demarcation point, this porthole that you're stepping up into. It's not so much that we're preparing the groundwork anymore. The groundwork has already been prepared. The groundwork is already laid. The consciousness path is there for you. You're merely allowing yourself to step up into that vibration that you choose to experience. It's all set. It's all there. And that's the difference. That's the difference between merely floating through life and creating life with intention and with purpose and with profound creativity, because we know that we're supported in every step. We know that we're loved unconditionally. We know that we have benevolence surrounding us at every minute, and the light ships in the skies. They're all there in support of every breath we take towards the light, and every breath we take towards that fifth dimensional status. And we're stepping up into that vibration that we've created from all the work that we've done and all the clearing and cleansing, redefining of our beliefs, clarification of who we are, taking time in quiet nature, having Gaia heal us and having us send loving vibrations to Gaia, whatever it is you want to call it, with your communion with nature, with your communion with Source. And the more you open up to this, the more you declare yourself with this entanglement, the more you intend yourself with this entanglement, you can allow yourself to see life from a whole new vibrational level, and things actually appear to you out of nowhere. And I just posted on the Twitter feed and on the social networks. This morning I woke up and I've had this bunch of flowers, bouquet of flowers that I've had for a couple of weeks, and they're getting on their last day. I've got the last few flowers in new water, and I woke up thinking, it would be lovely to have a bunch of new flowers. So I silently said that to myself, and, I sent my husband and the kids out for the day, and I said, if you see a beautiful bouquet, then just pick it up, because I'd want some fresh flowers for the house. And as I'm sitting here just preparing for the radio show, it's possibly a minute to go, the doorbell rings, and a neighbor from down the road, whom I've only met once at a Halloween party, brought over a beautiful bouquet of flowers that her husband had donated from an event that he was at the night before. And she had all of these extra vases, and she brought by this beautiful, specially designed vase with beautiful roses and things inside of it. And so this is how the fifth dimensional vibration works. When you send out the vibrations and you let it go, and even simple beautiful things like the gift of Gaia with beautiful flowers, or it could be the sighting of your first hummingbird of the season. Whatever it may be that links you and connects you with Gaia, Gaia will show you in no uncertain terms that you are entangled, that you are one with her, that you are alive and well with her. And so this is my passion, to marry all of this information in at the events and all of the writings that I do, is that it's been forgotten now that we've gone through this stage of awakening, which is beautiful and wonderful, but there's still a misunderstanding and misconception that we're alone in this and separate if we work on it by ourselves and in our own kind of tiny little corner of the world, and that's not true. At every moment we're entangled with Gaia. At every moment we're entangled with Source. Every breath that we breathe is Source energy. And it's this that I wish to bring forward and bring alive and well again. And this allows us the true, universal, unified, cellular stream of flow that we have with one another, and that we breathe in the sense of our cosmic heritage. We breathe in the sense of Source. We breathe in the sense of life and light. And this allows us to move forward in the expanded state. It doesn't matter what state you're in, whether we're still working through the third or the fourth or the fifth. It doesn't matter what vibrational state you're working on. You could be just coming out of a terribly abusive relationship, and you can bump yourself up very quickly by using some of these techniques. And it doesn't take you apart or away from Source any closer than anybody else would be. It's the intention and the will that you put behind it with the purity of heart that you choose to breathe with. And this is what's so powerful, and this is what can really amp you up to a whole new level of living and creation. And you're manifesting these things out of nowhere because that vibration has been set for you, and you're stepping up into it. You've set the platform. You've set the stage. It's all done. And now, the knowingness, the self-worth, the self-love, the self-honor that I've talked about before, the authenticity that you choose to walk through life with, the more that you are that of yourself, and you're not pretending to be someone else, and the more beauty that you hold within yourself for who you are, and the light that you came to shine for who you are, then these things fall into your lap, whether it be a bouquet of flowers or a new job or a new career or bumping into someone at a coffee shop who turns into be, your lifelong lover, whatever it may be. And this is how the understanding of consciousness is all entangled within us and is us. And what we choose to focus on as a physical reality allows us the physical manifestations of what we're resonating at the vibrational level. So if I'm feeling negative or overwhelmed or challenged, then everything that I'm going to manifest is going to be even more amplified that day because that resonance is still there, and because I'm being propelled in a very profound way with much more intensified energies. So then it means I need to refine it much more quickly. I need to bump myself up a little bit more quickly because what's going to come at you will be quicker. And you'll see the reflections of that in a much more quicker way, in a profound way. So this is why it's always good to make sure that your beliefs are cleared. You're clearing what you need to clear. Belief systems, habits, conditionings, all of those things. And we work through this with Ascension Path work or private readings or whatever it is, however you choose to work with it, because it's only going to get quicker and more refined from here on out. So this is what the end of spring I talked about in my TV show. So go to the main page, universalunity.ca, and there's the little TV screen on the right. You just click on there, and every Saturday there's a new show that pops up, or you can go to Ustream, Universal Unity. I think it's Exploring Human Potential, and you can click on there, and there's a whole slew of videos. I don't know how many there are. There's a ton of videos there. And you can just play them, keep playing them, and surround yourself with the vibration of the fifth dimensional energy, however you choose to do that, whether it's yoga, Pilates, walking on the beach, whatever it is. Surround yourself with it at every moment that you can until it's a new condition for you. Whether you're conditioned in the new way, surround yourself with flowers and Gaia and beauty and animals and nature. Allow yourself to affirm to yourself how beautiful and loving and warm and caring and compassionate and all of these gorgeous things that allow us to resonate at the fifth dimensional frequency. Surround and fill yourself with that, and it will propel you and amplify you in greater ways. And things will be shown to you. We're always given opportunity to refine. Always. Always have, always will. And now we're just awakening to that. And the portal to that is our consciousness. We can start to play in a much more profound way because we're engaged 100% fully, and we know we are. We're awake to it. We're aware that we are engaged with creation. And it will show you. You will be shown. You will be given triggers and symbols and cues. So go out for a walk and allow yourself to say, before you go out for a walk, or whatever it is that you choose to do, whether it's on the beach, intend for yourself that walk to give you the amplification or the mirror to your level of engagement with Gaia, to your level of engagement with creation, with source, with light, with love. Ask for the validations. Ask for something to be shown to you, and it will be shown to you. Whether it's a beautiful butterfly that sits on the dog leash while the dog is, doing its business, whatever it may be. You will be shown in no uncertain terms that you are engaged and entangled with the universe. And this is how we manifest these mirrors and clues for ourselves, and allowing us to wake up to it, allowing us to wake up to the fact that we are fully engaged. We are energetic beings swimming in this cosmic soup, this quantum cosmic soup, and we are alive and well within this. And this is how your consciousness expands to be entangled with your new set foundation, your frequency. And you're stepping up into it because you're aware of it. You're alive to it. You're awake to it. So let's play. And this is what ascension work and path work is all about. And so with that, dear lighted ones, be sure to stay tuned on the website because we do have something new coming this week. It was supposed to be loaded on Friday, but we ran out of time. So be sure to tune in all week long. There's 3 new posts on the blog, light ship posts as well as other posts. And there is also the symposium special I've got. Private readings are half off for those that register for the symposium. So be sure that you stay tuned for the website all week long because there's lots of changes coming for those who love the fifth dimensional vibration 24/7. And allow yourself to be aligned and stay aligned because you are loved unconditionally. Benevolent universe is looking after you. As long as you step up in the vibration and you know you are worthy of it, you will be shown. So in that, dear lighted ones, my love and my light to you always, and namaste.